Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about having an Aquarius Ascendant in a natal chart. First off, I just want to tell you that when I first started my YouTube astrology channel. Some of you may remember I did a series on the rising signs, and what it was, the videos were a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was begin another series in which I talked about the ascendants or rising signs, and which I make them a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, as far as the Aquarius Ascendant goes, the first thing, the appearance, physical body. Um, well, the physical body itself, Aquarius can be either very squarish and stout in build, or they can be rectangular in build. The fixed ascendants tend to have a squarish or rectangular type visage or build to them. And Aquarius rising may have a long visage too. They may, even the ones that are average height, or the few out there that are shorter than average, may still have a tall look to them. Now, Michael J. Fox, I believe, is Aquarius rising, and he's not overly tall. I think he's only around 5'4" or 5'5" or something, but I'm sure he looks a little bit taller than he actually is. Another thing too is that most Aquarius ascendants are tall in stature. The trunk tends to be long, and the arms and legs are generally, maybe a little bit shorter in relation to the trunk, or proportionate with the trunk. Now, the hair for Aquarius tends to be like a light brown or sandy type color. Um, and the face can be long and emphasize cheekbones, and the complexion tends to be fair for Aquarius, but they generally are healthy looking. Another thing, as far as the appearance goes for Aquarius rising, well, the eyes may be tilted or have kind of an odd shape to them, like a lopsided type shape uh, to them. The nose can be very straight, and the thing is, the nose, there's something very distinctive about it for Aquarius rising. Now, it may be one where there's little or no indentation between, like, the top part of the nose and where it meets the forehead, like almost like a continual line. Another thing is, as far as the mouth goes for Aquarius rising, what's interesting though is, even if the mouth is shut and has a straight face for a serious look, even in repose, it might look like they're smiling. Um, Aquarius rising, and the eyes tend to either be, as far as the color goes, either like a hazel or blue. And the body, again, can be rather strongly made, wiry, can be can be stocky, but could also be just very long, more of a leaner build, but muscular and wiry. So those are, as far as physical characteristics of the sign goes, of Aquarius rising. Now, I just wanted to add that you've got to, of course, factor in ethnicity and race into this, because naturally this is just a general physical description for Aquarius ascendant. Now, the next thing with the ascendant, it's also associated with the outer demeanor, the outer personality, and Aquarius rising may easily project these qualities, being eccentric, selfless, altruistic, and also they can be very ingenious, and also a quality of them is being very considerate too, and unobtrusive. They are the opposite sign of Leo, of course, and Leo, rising can be more flamboyant outwardly, but Aquarius is just rising is just the opposite. It's more unobtrusive. They're more about blending in group-related activities, and not necessarily, be in the limelight. Outwardly, Aquarius rising can also be very friendly, amiable, and be very, speak in a very perspicacious manner, have very good powers of reasoning. They make themselves often readily understood to others when communicating, can have very good literary ability, like the air ascendants in collectively, and they could be very objective as well, and even with their friends. And sometimes that could hurt their friends to some degree, but they are just trying to be honest and being fair-minded about what they're talking about in their assessments of situations. Now, the ascendant is also connected with the first impression of somebody. And Aquarius ascendant on first impression can come across as rather altruistic, um, progressive, futuristic, innovative. Um, Aquarius rising can often have ideas that others would just simply, never even think of. And also, too, on a first impression, Aquarius rising can be amiable and come across to others as very independent and aloof as well. See, the thing that's interesting is that Aquarius is very paradoxical. They're like, the Aquarius rising can be seen as that universal friend, never meet a stranger syndrome. But the thing is, they also like to keep their distance as well, from others, and they're not ones about being close. They like to have their freedom and independence, and and that especially maybe from connections with others, and as far as that goes. And they could also come across on first impressions rather non-conforming as well. And um, and the thing is, they're also inconspicuous. This goes back to being unobtrusive, not more about blending in with groups, in contrast to getting like the limelight for things and getting attention seeking. Now, the ascendant is also connected with one's outlook on life, and being a masculine ascendant, basically Aquarius rising can have a very positive outlook on life. They could be very forward moving, not moving back. Remember, Aquarius is the zodiac sign connected with the future. They could be very futuristic, always moving ahead, not looking back and lamenting on things that took place yesteryear, so to speak. And they have it's also again, they're very, the outlook is about being goal and aspiration oriented, never meet a stranger, being that universal friend, making friends wherever they go. Excuse me. Now, another thing about Aquarius rising. Now, the ascendant is also associated with one's early childhood. So, the early childhood for Aquarius rising may be, there might be something unusual about it, whether whether the person moves to a foreign country, or they're just something that is different, connected with the early childhood than most people. It can be a little bit erratic. Um, and also, too, there might be, Aquarius rising in their early childhood may deal with some unexpected, events or disruptions that, during, the early childhood that most people would not have to be dealing with. And another thing too is that it might be one where they showed more of an interest in like little computer or electronic gadgets. They may get more interested in the computers and the internet at a younger age than most people, um, on average, and also one in which they had maybe more friends than the average person, during their early childhood. Now, the ascendant is also associated with one's with new beginnings, and new beginnings for Aquarius rising is about not looking back, being very progressive, forward moving. Could be a little erratic, and might be a little start and stop thing going on with them, but being a fixed ascendant, they generally will reach their goals at some point. And Another thing too, as far as specifically, as new beginnings go, certain, career endeavors or what they may be associated with astronomy, computers, astrology, electronics, innovation, could be humanitarian, altruistic endeavors, something associated with meteorology or aviation as some examples. Um, the ascendant is also associated with one's energy and vitality. So, being an air ascendant, the vitality for Aquarius rising may be good, but not great. They have to be wary of depleting their energy by doing too much for friends and group-related activities, and make sure they're taking care of themselves on a physical level. And body parts associated with Aquarius includes ankles, shins, calves, lower legs, and nerves. So those could be sensitive areas for Aquarius rising. There may be more susceptibility and vulnerability to injuries associated with those body parts. Um, Now, the ascendant is also connected with the grandparent and people prominent in your early childhood. So those people may be Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant persons, or simply ones that embody those characteristics. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.